The Bad Batch is currently serving as a sequel series to the beloved 2008 Clone Wars series, with it following Clone Force 99 and continuing the stories of various minor characters that appeared in TCW. With Captain Rex appearing in one of the Bad Batch trailers, it is highly likely Ahsoka will appear in Season 1, either as a cameo or possibly even becoming a main character. With that said, what is Ahsoka doing around the time that Bad Batch is taking place? Her story following Order 66 is told in the 2016 canon novel titled Ahsoka. Before we go over her early adventures during the Imperial era, however, it is important to note that there is a possibility that some of the specifics mentioned might be retconned, as both the Clone Wars and Bad Batch have already done so concerning Rex's chip removal and Kanan's Order 66 scene, both of which were changed from their original depictions as they appeared in earlier books and comics. Right after Ahsoka and Rex survived Order 66 and buried their former comrades, they both made their way off-planet on the Y-Wing and eventually split off. Still shocked at what had happened, Ahsoka soon heard Obi-Wan's message from the Jedi Temple, with him warning all survivors of the Purge to stay away from Coruscant, and confirming that the Jedi have been marked for death by the New Galactic Empire. Understanding the perilous situation she was in, Ahsoka decided the best option for survival was to lay low. She ultimately traveled to the Outer Rim and arrived on a backwater world named Tabeska, where she was able to blend in among the many immigrants that came to seek refuge following the war. Upon her arrival, she quickly acquainted herself with one of the ruling families of the planet and came to work for them as a mechanic, making a decent living in the process. For the next 10 or so months, her life remained largely peaceful, with her concealing her force powers during this period, in fear that using her abilities could expose her to the Sith. During this time, she concluded that Palpatine was the Sith Lord behind the Clone Wars, and that her former master, Anakin Skywalker, was likely dead from Order 66. 2 months prior to the first anniversary of the declaration of the Galactic Empire, Ahsoka broke her self-imposed rule of not using the Force when she saw a couple of children be in danger of being crushed by crates, using the Force to prevent their deaths. Although the kids she saved were mostly unaware of what she did, Ahsoka began to worry that she was in possible danger, especially after hearing that some Imperials were planning on arriving on the planet to meet with the family she was working for to discuss trade. As she rushed to leave the world, she noticed that one of the children she befriended during her stay was Force sensitive and was in possible danger of being taken by the Empire. However, because of the little time she had to get off the planet, she was unable to take the child along with her to safety. Ahsoka then traveled to another Outer Rim backwater world, one that was made up of mainly farmers. Like before, Ahsoka made herself a decent living, but yet again came under distress as the Empire arrived on the world. It was during this time she came to realize that the Empire she was attempting to flee would soon oversee nearly every planet in the galaxy, and that she would have to accept living right under their noses. As the Imperials came to occupy her new home, they started to enforce new rules on the farmers, which caused a handful of them to start fighting back. While at first Ahsoka was reluctant to aid them, believing they were doomed to lose, her moral compass made her help them in their struggle to the best of her ability, including training them in combat and participating in their raids on Imperial goods. Eventually, Ahsoka would encounter an Inquisitor known as the Sixth Brother. After realizing the Force-sensitive child she left behind was in danger by him, she came to fight the Darkseid user and killed him, taking his red lightsaber crystals and using the Force to heal them out of their Darkseid energies, causing them to turn white as a result. She would then use these new crystals in her future lightsabers. Ultimately, around the first year of the Galactic Empire's reign, Ahsoka came into contact with Bail Organa, one of the few people she could trust, and she later aided the Senator in forming the foundations of the future Rebel Alliance. She did this by taking on the codename Fulcrum, and using her skills to contact potential allies and acquiring vital resources for the cause. That is basically her story during the early months following Order 66. Seeing how the Bad Batch show likely takes place in the first couple weeks to early months of the Imperial era, Ahsoka is still on Tabeska, laying low as a mechanic. However, as mentioned before, it is very possible that this portion of her story might be retconned if they try to bring her into the show without time skipping it after the first year of the Empire, as she would likely not be going around the galaxy prior to meeting Bail Organa. If she does appear in the Bad Batch, there is a good chance she will already be working for Bail Organa as Fulcrum, or is instead hiding out with Captain Rex rather than by herself. Let us know what you think Ahsoka will be up to, assuming she will appear in Bad Batch, and what theories you have about how her introduction to the show will affect its overall plot.